aside from just calculating the date, calculating time is also just as important and common in the workplace as well. What we're going to have a look at first is calculating hours rounded to the nearest whole number. So like we done with the dates and looked at the differences in how many days between two dates, you can actually do that with time as well. So let's get started. Open up your Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to name this one start time. I'm going to name this one enter, and then we're going to create another one called total hours. So this one might even be good for situations where, say you have the formula here and you want to calculate your shifts. So maybe on a personal level, you might want to create a Excel spreadsheet to show and put in what time did you start doing something and what time did you finish doing it, so that you can calculate how many hours there were between the two. So we're going to put in the dates first. So we'll go 2000. Oh, sorry, let's say 2017. Oh. Sorry about that. I pressed the wrong key. So we'll go 9th 6 2017. We'll go 10th 6 2017. Now you're probably wondering where the time is in all of this. So the reason why you can't see the time is because we haven't formatted these two cells to show us the times. So what you'll need to do is highlight these two cells, and in the number ribbon or label, click on this pop-up box, and you'll see here that there are options to format these in date. There's options here to format in time. I might feel that if, say, you're calculating shifts and you do graveyard shifts, you might need to have both date and time. So what we'll do here is I've selected custom as an option, and there's a list of different types of formats we can look at here, and you'll see here that this is day, month, year, hour, and minute. So I'm going to do that format here. And so by default it's put 0 and 0. Let's pretend I done a shift. Maybe we might even pretend how long have I stayed in a hotel. So we'll say I checked in at 10:35 AM. Let's say I checked out the next day at 3:30 PM. Alright, now is the part to calculate. And so this is quite a simple one. All you need to do here is go equals. So this cell equals, and we'll say bracket B2, which is this one here. And we're going to minus from B1. And what you'll see is a figure like this. So what we actually need to do is go times 24. And the reason for that is because it calculates the number of hours, which is 24 hours, between the end time and the start time. Now you notice that there's all these decimal places here. You can reduce that to either just one whole number, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you don't want to see all these numbers, you can go to this number label here, click the pop-up, go number, and I can reduce it to 2 decimal places, or what we might do, which is more appropriate, is remove the decimal places. And so notice when I change these, they start disappearing. So this is how you can round it up to the highest number. So this calculator has estimated a total of 29 hours. Now, so if we look at this at a higher level, I'm going to open up the spreadsheet that I've already prepared earlier. So here's one I prepared earlier for John Smith. I mean, it's quite a long time ago, 2006, but what we're calculating here is the time. Now, what we want to see here is if I'm an employer or if I'm a boss and I want to give someone a timesheet. In theory, we want to allow them to put in the time that they timed in or checked in to work in the time that they've timed out. And then we calculate, or you as a manager would calculate what the hours worked are. However, if you design a spreadsheet, this will automatically calculate it. So whatever they put in here, it's automatically done, and it doesn't require you to fill that information in all by yourself. So let's get started and get that done. So if we want to calculate the time differences, so again it's out minus in. Now you notice something's not right here. That's because we haven't done the 24. So times 24. So in this shift, John worked his full 8 hours. Now another cool neat thing you can do is remember this black box that we covered in the previous lessons? If you click and drag, it'll automatically assume the formula for you. Alright. Now normally, and this is only because I've pre-formatted it before this exercise, normally it'll just show with different decimal places. So again, go back to number and bring it back down to 0. If you are an employer, you probably want to have it in one place. And so what we can do here is we can tally up how many hours John Smith worked and how many as a manager. I'm going to pay John. And just to take it the extra level, I'm going to do equals sum, which means total. And we're going to, I've entered one too many. That. So John's worked 38.2 hours. If you go total. If you want to take it that extra notch, let's say his wage is $18 an hour. And so therefore his pay, we would be looking to pay 18 times 38.2 hours. So John's got a pretty okay pay for the week. So that's an example of how to calculate hours, and one of the reasons why it's quite important to know these types of calculations when you start going into the business world. We'll have all the details on the exercises for you to try to give this a go yourself below before you move on to the next part.